Howdy, 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 gang, and welcome once again to the Duct Tape Studios. I'm Jeff McAleer, your host here at the Gaming Gang Dispatch, brought to you by, obviously enough, thegaminggang.com, which I happen to be the founder and editor-in-chief. If this is your first time tuning in, welcome aboard, kick back, relax, put your feet up, make yourself at home. We're not dealing with rocket surgery here. We're just talking about the latest in tabletop gaming news. So we're talking about board games, role-playing games, card games, miniatures games. If it's going on your tabletop, we are probably talking about it here. So welcome aboard. If you are a constant viewer, if you're a longtime visitor, thanks once again for taking some time out of your busy day to hang out with me. It's always appreciated. Thank you kindly. So tonight is Tuesday, February 16th, 2021. This is live stream number 621. 21 and 21. Do want to mention, if you like this video, by all means, please give it a quick thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you do subscribe, ding that bell, because it'll not only let you know when the dispatch airs live Monday through Thursday nights right here on YouTube. It'll also let you know when I upload other videos, such as my unboxing and first look at Fun Fair, which is from Good Games Publishing. Had quite a few videos pop up since our last show. We've got my second video in the So You Want to Be a Game Master series, where I talk a little bit about rules. And also did an unboxing and first look at the deluxe edition of In Magnificent Style, which is designed by my good friend Herman Lutman, and it is available from Worthington Publishing. So check out some of those videos. Got quite a few videos cooking out there. Anyway, do want to mention, when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com for all the latest in gaming news, reviews, and a whole lot more. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. Because this is a live stream, that also means there is chat available. It's not on screen. It's one of the ways I keep some of the more unusual commenters at bay. But I do my best to pay attention to chat. So if you want to say howdy, or maybe get a question, a comment, by all means, chime in. I will do my best to respond. So first out the gate tonight, Flaming Huron saying hello. We've also got Clint Gibson, the Madman from Motor City, the Motor City Madman. Let's start calling him that, although I know he doesn't live in Detroit. He's in Michigan, though. And Beat Cafe is here as well. What else we got? All right, so that's everybody. So both of our chat moderators are hanging out with us tonight also. Pretty cool. So yesterday was President's Day, so I got to kick back, relax. I didn't really do anything too exciting. I did shoot some video. That was about it. And shovel snow, which I also did today. So, yes, a great ace in chat pointing out that he hears it's cold in my world. Quite a few of us, I believe. It is very cold. Much colder for some folks. Down in Texas, boy, I'm telling you, they are not having a good time down there. I actually drove through Dallas once in the evening. Well, I guess we'll say it, the night. And it was snowing. It wasn't snowing hard, but it was snowing. And I had to stop for gas. And people were like, oh, we're having snow. So, yeah. So a great ace pointing out, at least I have power. I do. Because we're used to this kind of stuff. In fact, it's not really all that cold. It is crappy. Yeah, it's in the 20s. And then, of course, at night, it's been getting pretty cold. I think we'll hit like -2 or something tonight. But Nebraska, there was one town in Nebraska I saw was minus 30 degrees Fahrenheit. And that was before wind chill. So, yikes. It's like crazy, crazy. All right. So, in a grade A is talking about the One Ring Kickstarter is almost at $1 million. Well, well, well. All right. Let's hop on into the news because I've got a nice mix of news tonight. First off, arriving in March from AEG is an expansion to the War Chest series. Here's the dope on Siege. Not all battles are fought on the open field. In many cases, defenders hide behind the thick walls of mighty castles. Now is the time to prepare for siege. As castles grew larger and stronger throughout the Middle Ages, new ways evolved to scale, knock down, and even undermine their walls. In War Chest Siege, you will be confronted with fortified locations. Fear not, you have siege towers and trebuchets at your disposal, and hardy sappers to both build your own fortifications and undermine your opponents. Can you successfully return to the battlefield with your war engines in this ingenious and engaging game of tactics and strategy? Keep in mind, this is not a standalone game. This is just an expansion. You do require a copy of War Chest in order to play. War Chest Siege is for 2 to 4 players. I guess we should really say War Chest is for 2 or 4 players, not 2 to 4, 2 or 4. Ages 14 up, plays in around 30 to 60 minutes, and will carry an MSRP of $19.99 when it arrives next month. Gotta say, I like War Chest. It is a nice, quick-playing, abstract war game. More chess-like than anything else, because each of your pieces have specific moves available to them. So yes, I did enjoy it. We actually, when we did our live stream for the Anne and Robert, Robert H. Laurie Children's Hospitals, when we did our charity stream, we played some more chess. We had a pretty good time. Although I got to admit, and of course the chips that they use are very cool because they are like, they're not exactly like poker chips, but they are heavy. They are kind of like rubberized. Gotta say though, there's basically 4 new units. So that's about 20 chips. And the rules, $20. I don't know. Seems a little high. Seems a little bit high for me. Not positive. All right, so there is some discussion. So the Madman says that his sister is in Galveston, and they had some snow and ice on the roads. Interestingly enough, I did see some news about Galveston this morning. Saw some pictures of snow on the beach. So where the snow ended, the ocean started. It was kind of, that's a little strange. Not used to seeing that down in Texas. But I think Galveston was the only place this morning that was above freezing in the state of Texas. Well, good thing there's no, climate change or anything like that. Jeez, because this is all normal. Yeah. All right. Later this month comes a new edition of Royal Visit. It's from Iello Games. I've got the details. Bring the king to your castle. The valley is in turmoil. The king is on his way. What a pride it would be for your lineage to have the king's court taking a break in your castle. Use the powers of the wizard and the fool. Hey, I'm in this game. Cool. And I'm not the wizard. To attract the king to your domain and become a legend in the valley. This is the new strategy game by Reiner Knizia for 2 players. A smart and exciting tug-of-war game where you try to use each character's ability optimally to make the court advantage and advancing into your valley. Royal Visit is for 2 players, ages 12 and up, plays in about 20 to 30 minutes. It's going to carry an MSRP of $24.99 when it hits stores on February 25th. I have to point out, Iello Games indicates that this is a new game. This is actually not a new game. This is a new skin on an old Reiner Knizia design. Something he was doing a lot of in the recent past. I thought he was starting to get away from that, but I have to admit, I mean, it does look nice. The components look pretty nice, but I could have swore that, I know for a fact, I just don't know for what the name of the game was, but I know for a fact this used to be a game where it was the dancers, and you were trying to pull the dancers to your side of the dance floor. But, what can I say? Sometimes when they reskin games and they have, different components and that, it's actually a better game. But I don't know. We'll find out. So the Madman says, thankfully, his sister in Galveston had power. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. So a Grade A says, Senator, it's freezing in Texas. That proves there is no global warming. I know. What the biggest mistake ever was to call it global warming. That was the biggest mistake. Should always refer to it as climate change. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. All right. On to the next news piece. Now up on Kickstarter is a new edition of my friend John Welsh's Keep Up the Fire. It is a deluxe edition. Here's the skinny. Keep Up the Fire is a solitaire game set in 1900 Peking, China. You're in command of the foreign legations, ambassadors, their families, staff, and small security forces in the areas assigned to imperial powers, and a relief column coming to their rescue. An anti-imperialist revolution is sweeping China, and your presence has become the focal point of the Chinese Boxers, the Society of the Harmonious Fists, and Imperial Manchu forces of the Jing Army, who are angry and determined to expel all foreigners from China. Outnumbered, outgunned, and besieged within a small compound in the heart of Peking, you must hold on and hope the relief column can get to you in time. As the legation compound siege, you must coordinate the various foreign detachments that have joined to defend their position until an 8-nation relief column arrives. You also command the 8-nation relief column, battling their way from the port of Taku inland through hostile territory, trying to break the siege at Peking. The game is a race against time as the Chinese forces besieging the legation compound are attacking relentlessly while the relief column battles its way to the rescue. With limited time and relentless attacks on the compound, will you manage to keep up the fire? There is a short Kickstarter video. Let's kick back and give it a watch. Keep of the Fire is a solitaire game. It's for ages 13 and up, plays in around an hour. This project is over 1,600% funded. You can reserve a copy for a $59 pledge through February 27th. Expected delivery is this July. Granted, I am showing it's Worthington Publishing. It's actually old school war games, which is Worthington Publishing. So a Gray Day is pointing out that they are surprised someone made a game about the Boxer Rebellion. Ha! A Gray Day didn't know about Keep Up the Fire. A Gray Day didn't know about Keep Up the Fire. I think this is the first game a Gray Day has not known something about. He's like a resident chat expert. It's kind of like, what was the name of that game that had that thing? And it would like, do stuff. A Gray Day, which one is it? Be like, oh yeah, it was that. Ah, thanks. So I reviewed this when it first came out. This was a Victory Point game. Or I guess I should say Victory Point Games game. So you can check out my review over at thegaminggang.com. Now, I will have a news post about this. It'll be up tomorrow morning. So I'll have my link to my review. I gave it an 8 out of 10. And it's pretty good. It's a States of Siege game. If you're familiar with the States of Siege, has some extra wrinkles in it. To give you kind of an idea, it seems as if Worthington Publishing is reproducing some of the Victory Point Games titles. So part of this Kickstarter, you can get some of the other games like Soviet Dawn, which I want to say, I think it was designed by Darren Levelov. I don't know. I never played it, but I do believe that it's either the first or one of the first of these States of Siege games, which eventually led to games like Dawn of the Zeds, which is in reality, even though it wasn't really marketed that way, a States of Siege game where you have these different tracks that your enemies are coming down and you need to keep them at bay. So anyway, you can reserve a copy for $59. I believe this is going to carry an MSRP of $75. You can actually reserve a copy through February 27th. So this is a shorter Kickstarter. It kicked off, I think it was Saturday, which was kind of weird. I'm used to Kickstarters kicking off like today, like on Tuesdays, Wednesdays. So I was a little surprised to see a Saturday Kickstarter. But expected delivery on this is July. So Agrede says they still own more books than games, although it is close. Because the Madman says that they just put some new shelves up in the game closet. The other half is on shelves in the basement. I have far too many games. Well, as we've pointed out before, even though I now have new shelving behind me, which looks far better than that plastic white nonsense that I had, it just looks more subdued. For one, that's one of the reasons why I like the black. And then, of course, I know it's like all these people shoot their videos in front of like bookcases like this. But I have far more than what you see behind me. Because keeping in mind, you still have shelves below. One shelf below. We've got a shelf above. I've got boxes all around. I've still got the plastic white shelves holding games too. So that's why sometimes I'll rotate things out. So if Flaming runs this as long as you never get on an episode of Hoarders, as long as you're not featured for it. So a Grade A is asking, does this game teach the history or just use the setting for the game? So something I'll point out here, I'll tell you what, let's do this real quick. Let me pop out here. So the designer, John Welsh, a friend of mine, although I really haven't talked to him much in the past few years, past 3 years or so, but he's a history teacher. So he designed a few games for Victory Point Games, Levy and Mass, of course, Keep Up the Fire. Now, these were Ziploc bag games. So we've talked about Victory Point game titles before, and this was before they went into like the box games, which even the box games still were not coming in boxes like this, right? They had kind of a sleeve on them you'd pull off. I would snag one, but they're over on in the corner. Have to jump up, run over there. So they were much smaller footprint games. So if you have ever seen any of the videos, every once in a while I'll pull out like We Must Tell the Emperor, which used to be more of an inside joke of me sharing that than it is now. Guess won't get into that anyway. So Grady says, yeah, they have Levy and Mass. Right. So it's like, it's, a small, we're not talking like Steve Jackson Games. Yeah. Same designer. The other game is Cruel Necessity, which actually did, I think, pretty damn well for Victory Point Games. That was when we had the sleeves on the boxes. So nice. Yeah, I reached out to John to see if, because I understand he had an interview with, actually, I don't know who it was with. It was either Alexander or Grant or Grant and Alexander over at the Player's Aid about the game. And I got to be honest, I was a little surprised John didn't reach out and ask me if I wanted to do an interview with him. It's okay. Yeah. Mark my word, gang. Mark my words. Should say words, not word. One of these days, you're going to start seeing the Player's Aid more for profit than it has been. I just get this vibe. I hope it's not true, because both Grant and Alexander seem like pretty nice guys. I've met them a couple of times, chatted with them a little bit. Usually they're at Origins. I don't know if they go to Gen Con. Although I know they play some like fantasy games. I think they play one of the Lord of the Rings games. Not the one that's Games Workshop. I kept wanting to say Warhammer. It's like, no, it's not Warhammer, dummy. I think it's the FFG game, the kind of like the adventure game. I think they played it because I swear they tend to post some pictures. But I just have this weird feeling that they're starting to get that. They're starting, I don't want to say turn to the dark side, because that's not what I mean. I think they're looking at more monetizing what they do. Anyway, War of the Ring. No. Well, actually, I think they have posted War of the Ring. But one of them, I think it's Alexander. I think Alexander also plays some RPGs. Kind of cool. All right, let's jump back into the news, because I still have a couple of news pieces to go, because arriving in stores today from Free League Publishing is the Symborum starter set, Treasure Hunts and Davokar. Here are the details. The Ashurani dynasty was as short-lived as it was cruel, known for its insights into the light and the darkness. Key to their power was an artifact known as the Rod of Light and Darkness. Didn't I just say light and darkness? Its touch could breathe life into dead things or steal it away from that which lived. And guess what? The rod's current whereabouts have been revealed to students of the Eternal Light, I should say Eternal Night. This opportunity cannot be ignored. Its final resting place is said to be Lafarda's Tower, situated in the area known to treasure hunters as the Blasted Heath, where lightning rain burns flesh and shatters dreams. Enter the wondrous world of Symborum. This starter set for the Symborum role-playing game is designed to let you and your friends experience treasure hunts and expeditions in the dark and mysterious forest of Davakar, including 2 ready-made adventure sites for you to explore. It also contains guidelines for creating your own treasure hunt adventures. Of course, our hope is that your initial excursions into Davakar will leave you curious to know more about the game world, its forests, cultures, and its long, dark history. Included in this box set is a 64-page rulebook, introducing the game's easy-to-learn and highly flexible rule set, along with its dark and mysterious game world. A 64-page adventure compendium, including 2 adventure locations for your players to explore, and rules for designing adventures of your own. Also includes the Symborum Bright Davakar dice set with all the dice you need for combat, problem solving, and social challenges. There's a double-sided map with one side depicting the game setting at large, and the other the treasure hunter's town of Thistlehold. There's a second double-sided map showing the main locations of the 2 pre-made adventure landscapes meant to be used at the gaming table. 6 character sheets describing 5 ready-made player characters and 1 mystical companion for you to play. The Symborum starter set Treasure Hunts in Davakar is in stores right now. It does carry an MSRP of $39.99. And to be very honest with you, if you're curious what this looks like, well, then maybe you should check out the video I shot this weekend where I share everything that's in the starter set. In fact, I want to say, if I remember correctly, I think this went up yesterday. So I show you everything inside the 2 books, do a quick page through of those as well, show you the maps, the dice, the whole shebang. I have not gotten dug in to do a review yet. I was very surprised because this showed up, I think it showed up Sunday, to be honest. So I was kind of surprised that, because, usually with a lot of this stuff, I get it before it hits stores so that I'm ready for a review when it comes out. Kind of surprised that it didn't arrive until right before it hit stores. So at least I got a video out there for you guys to check out. All right, my final newspaper. Jeez, I need a sip. Kabuki Kid has joined us in chat. Good to see you, Double K. Welcome aboard. Double K's in the house. My last news piece, not newspaper. I'm losing my mind. Available in PDF from Monte Cook Games is Numenera, Edge of the Sun. Here's the dope. The greatest work of the prior worlds, the engine of the gods. Few who dwell in the ninth world know of the greatest achievement of the ancients, for it rests, imperceptibly despite its vast size, on the very edge of the sun itself. The prior worlds were mighty beyond conception, but even for them, this engine is a work of staggering proportion. What incredible threat to the sun, our world, and all the bodies of our solar system compelled them to such an audacious feat? Has that threat been ended? Or do the beings that dwell in the engine, for yes, it is home to many strange creatures, struggle now in vain, unaware that their mission no longer protects them or us from a cataclysm on a scale that dwarfs even the boldness of the prior world's most ambitious work? Edge of the Sun details a massive new location for Numenera characters to explore, the engine of the gods. Fiercely hostile to human life, it can nevertheless be visited physically or virtually, where its many secrets and dangers await discovery. The book contains a host of new creatures suited to the life on and in the Engine of the Gods. Dozens of new ciphers and artifacts, plus augments, strange vehicles that can be piloted remotely to explore the engine, are used to reach other locations in the Ninth World or across the solar system. There's a map generator that lets you easily create infinite regions within the planet-sized Engine of the Gods. There are 2 complete adventures. Waking the Mega introduces augments as the PCs discover, revive, and ultimately pilot one against a titanic threat. The Sun Doth Move is a lengthy adventure with world-shattering consequences that can make an excellent capstone to your explorations of the Engine of the Gods or to an entire Numenera campaign. The 160-page PDF of Numenera Edge of the Sun is available right now at Drive-Thru RPG for $17.99. Sweet. I believe this is it Roger Cordell? I think, oh no, or is it Bruce Cordell? Maybe it's Bruce R. Cordell. Regardless, I hear this is excellent. The word on the street, everybody, is this is some really good stuff. Almost used a different word, but I think I'll try to be family friendly all through the show tonight. Fingers crossed. All right, so I was just talking about something over at Drive-Thru RPG, Edge of the Sun. And of course, let me once again remind you that the Gaming Gang, thus the Dispatch, are affiliated with the One Bookshelf sites. So if you are going to visit, say, I don't know, Drive-Thru RPG, by all means, please visit thegaminggang.com. First, click on one of our banner ads. That way, if you do happen to make a purchase, I get a little portion of that sale. And all those nickels, dimes, and quarters all add up and really do help keep thegaminggang.com around. Usually pays for our hosting for the month. I'd say 10 months out of 12, it does. So thank you very much. I know there are a lot of people out there who do use those links. Thank you very, very much. Really, really do appreciate it. Really does help me out. No joke. Because as I've said before, time and time again, I do not have GoDaddy cheapo hosting. You can't have 1 million unique visitors come to your website in a year on, $4, $5 hosting. So, all right. So, Flaming Huron says now they're going to check the Numenera releases right now. All right, see ya. So long. Thanks for coming by, Flaming Huron. Enjoy Numenera. Numenera's kind of cool. Although I got to admit, I never got a chance to check out the latest edition, the one that's kind of broken into 2 core books. One is, I think, Discovery. The other, I think it's Destiny and Discovery. At least that's what's popping in my head. I don't know. Could be completely wrong. It was kind of funny. I did try last Gen Con, did try to do another interview with Monte Cook because I interviewed him the year prior to that. And it was a nice interview. It was a fun interview. And a lot of people had told me over the years that Monte's not a very nice person. He was fine. He was great. I don't know. Sometimes you got to wonder about some of these people. It's like, what do you expect, right? So I'm standing there, and Kevin Smith, he's talking to somebody, and I walk up, and I yank on his jersey, and I'm like, hey, Kevin Smith! And he looked at me like, what the hell are you doing? What an asshole! Well, there goes the family-friendly part. Womp, 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 womp. Yeah, I mean, that's, sometimes it's like, what? Anyway, so Flaming Huron's like, yeah, okay, I'll stick around. So, a Great Ace talking about some more casting for the Dungeons and Dragons movie. Madman says they just picked up some things at drive-through today. I may have seen that because I saw kind of a bump. I don't know if that was. Yeah, well, I checked. I took a peek today. I don't look every day. I just every few days I'll go take a peek. Usually I take a peek when somebody sent me something at drive-through. So, for an example, I have a news piece about a release from Cubicle 7 for tomorrow's show. They sent me the PDF to check out. Anyway, so a great A says, GoDaddy! I worked for GoDaddy way back in the day when they were really shaking the trees, when they were making their move, when they were privately owned, and made made a good buck working for GoDaddy. So, anyway. So, Kabuki Kid's talking about The Last of Us casting. So, the Madman says that he is skeptical about the D&D movie. So am I. So am I. Says it couldn't be worse. Nah, never say that. It could always be worse. So, a great A says Space Sweepers is a great Netflix movie. I don't know. I've stayed away from it. I don't know. I don't know. I thought of checking it out, and then I watched the trailer for it. I was like, this looks like this is all over the place. So, I mean, if I were in the mood for, like 30-second scene changes or something like that, like all through the movie, maybe I'd watch it. Man. Anyway, a couple of things I want to talk about tonight. So first off, how many people have noticed that, and this, I don't know exactly when this started to take place, but it's relatively recent. So how many people have noticed that Board Game Geek actually owns their own game store now? And they're gradually changing their links within their info pages, a product page, right? So let's say, as an example, we were going to look at Keep Up the Fire. You'll usually have a link. Sometimes it'll be buy it on Amazon. Sometimes it's Miniature Market. Sometimes it's, did you miss that? It's like, did you miss the Kickstarter? So, anyway, so I'm sure people have noticed it, because it's not their store where Board Game Geeks had a store forever for you to buy promo stuff and things like that. This is not called the Board Game Geek store. It's got a different name, but it is owned by them. I'm just curious if anybody noticed there's absolutely no discount on it. On anything you buy, it's all MSRP. They do give you 50% off, free shipping on $50 purchase, but that's it. You are paying full MSRP. It's like, wow. And I get it. There's all these places out there. I could open up my own online shop, never have any space whatsoever, and just drop ship everything and make, pennies on every sale, because there are people out there who do that. So I don't know. So Great A's talking about they've got a physical warehouse. So actually, which was being used for all their promo stuff, all their Board Game Geek store stuff. Board Game Geek did not sit there. They were not a retailer like, say, Fun Again Games, which, they're in the doghouse. But like Fun Again Games, they weren't a presence like that. It was, you'd go to, and I'm sure they had different stuff, but I got to be honest, I don't hang out on Board Game Geek enough to know about it. All I'm saying is I've noticed that now they're promoting their own game store, which is not called Board Game Geek, and it's got completely different logoing and everything else, but it is their store. I just happen to notice that unlike just about any other retailer out there, they offer absolutely no discount on the MSRP. So that's all it's leading me to say is I really get the feeling that BGG is going to try their best to really become a distributor. I just get the impression that they are looking to possibly give Alliance and Diamond a run for their money as far as being distributors. I know there's other distributors out there too. There's PDX, there's ACD, there's one more. But anyway, so Kabuki Kid says, yeah, they have the geek store that they've always had, and they have that board game store now too. Right. That's what I'm talking about. That the new, and I think it's called something like the Geek Store, but it's got it. The logoing's different. The font is completely. It's as if they're like, we don't want you to know that this is our store. We want you to think this is just a link, like they had done with Miniature Market. So Kabuki Kid says, I think Board Game Geek only tries to get hard to get board games or ones they know will sell well, stuff like Wingspan. I don't know, because I have started to see things, because usually, here's what I do. When I do my news, it is not unusual for me to find images that I cannot use that accompany a press release, things like, because they're too small. Because what I try to do is I try to use an image large enough so, because I know there are folks who do watch this on TV screens. Not many, but I know there are some, or they watch on pretty big monitors. So what happens is if I have like a little crappy image, it looks terrible. So I always try to get the largest image I possibly can. And I usually go over to Board Game Geek and I'll look up the game, and then I look for images that are from the company. I do not take images that were shot by other people and stuff that were uploaded, anything like that. I look for the company images, and usually I will find much larger pictures. So, and that's kind of what I do on Board Game Geek. That's about it. I mean, I do not surf around. I've said it before. I think there's a lot of cancerous people on Board Game Geek that are just not good for the hobby. A small portion, but they are very vocal. So, I'll be the first to point out that usually I will upload, I won't upload, I'll link my videos. Not this, but say for an example, like Symborum, right? So you got RPG Geek, which is part of Board Game Geek. It's just, it's a mirror site. So I will go and I will link the YouTube video to the page. And that's usually just what I do. I swear, I could do a 30-minute video where I was just the most entertaining person you've ever encountered, which we know that's never going to happen. And I mentioned one thing wrong about the rules. It could be the most minute thing about the rules. And I swear that's all anyone will care about. Oh, I can't believe that you said that. That was found on page 13. It's on page 15. It's like, okay. It's like, if you got Asperger's, go hang out on Board Game Geek. Anyway, other thing I wanted to mention. So first of all, let's jump back. So Grade A says they handle all the con logistics. So a lot of warehouse space is con stuff and library stuff. So yes, Kabuki Kid says it's called a Geek Game Shop. Yeah, that's it. So I don't know. All right. Anyway, so Kabuki Kid says Aldi said that they're only trying to get hard to get board games. So that's at least what he said. I don't know. I've noticed that there's all different stuff that, like I said, when I go to pull images, because I'm not sharing the most obscure game news. I think, for an example, I think one of them was Royal Visit when I went to go pull an image for Royal Visit because they were so small from what I was able to get. That's why I went over to Board Game Geek, and I think that was one of the games that they had. Get it at their store. I was like, that's Iello Games. That is certainly not a difficult company to get games here in the U.S. from. Anyway, I was just pointing that out. The big thing to me is they offer absolutely no discounting. I don't know. I'm a little surprised. Little surprised by that. So the other thing I wanted to mention, and please listen to the words that come out of my mouth. Don't listen to the words you think I'm saying. It's important for me to point this out because from time to time, I will say something and people will misconstrue it and say I said one thing that I never said. So, over on Board Game Geek, they are celebrating Black History Month, which, okay, so off on a tangent for a second. I've always kind of been bothered that February is Black History Month because it's got the fewest days out of any month of the year. I was like, so I wonder who decided that, huh? Anyway, so they've been sharing a person every day, a personality associated with board gaming every day. And I have to say, it's pretty sorry commentary on our hobby. The people who they've had to try to find in order to share they're not even necessarily Americans, just Black folks involved in board gaming. Of course, obviously, they've had Eric Lang. But I mean, they've had most of the people that they've shared are content creators. And some of them very, very tiny content creators. I saw one gentleman he had designed one game, and that game was more along the lines of making a statement as opposed to, I'm creating a game, for the masses to play. It was more, this is a game that's going to teach people, which is fine. I have no issue with that. But we all know that probably was not a big selling game. I'm like, man. Now I know I shouldn't say I know. I'm guessing they're not going to share like Mike Pondsmith, Chris Spivey, Eloy Lasanta, because they're all role-playing game creators. But the thing is, I know RPG Geek isn't doing anything for Black History Month. So yeah, watching that, because I do the news 4 days out of the week. So usually 4 days out of the week, I'm popping into Board Game Geek to look for larger images, or I'm sharing a link to a video that I've uploaded. But I'm not one of these people who spends more than just a few minutes on the site. But I've been seeing and once again, I'm not saying anything about the content creators out there. All I'm saying is it's pretty sad how few people of color are designing games, or at least getting credit for designing games. Now, I've mentioned before, when I went to my first Gen Con back when it was up in Milwaukee, up in Wisconsin, if you saw a person of color, that was like, wow. I mean, in the convention hall, I'm not talking about in Milwaukee, but in the convention hall, you were like, huh? Because we didn't see too many people of color. And I'm not just talking about African Americans, I'm talking about Hispanic people. Yes, we would see Asian gamers. But for the most part, it was all Whitey McWhiteface like me. So I gotta say, we gotta put our money where our mouths are. I mean, honestly. Now, I am not a publisher, so it's not like anybody's pitching me game ideas or anything like that. But we're seeing more and more people get involved of all nationalities, genders, religious backgrounds, what have you. A vast change in the landscape of gaming has taken place over the last few decades, couple decades, and especially over the last 10 years. And I personally think it's fantastic. I think it's awesome. Say it time and time again. You may not think this because sometimes I go off on my little tangents and stuff. But as long as you're not a jerk, you're welcome at my game table. That's it. I'm all about having fun at the game table, and I do not believe in keeping people out. But I swear, I mean, it's been a real eye-opener watching the people that they're sharing every day on Board Game Geek. And I'm like, once again, I'm saying this in a certain way. It's probably going to sound different than how I mean it, but I'll look and I'll think to myself, my gosh, that's the best you can do. It's like, come on, there's more designers out there, aren't there? I mean, you're sharing somebody who's got like 10 videos on YouTube. Really? And once again, that I don't mean any offense to the content creator who would have the 10 videos on YouTube. I'm saying I'm finding it shocking that we're not seeing more people. I would have thought, because remember, I don't know about every game out there. I don't know every game designer. I don't know every game company out there. I was thinking that here it's going to broaden my horizons into all these different gaming creators, not content creators, but gaming creators. And I think the only one I think I've seen two. Man, I don't know. I have no idea. It's just I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed in the hobby. I really am. Now role-playing games are a little bit different. Because I mean, Mike Pondsmith has been a big mover and shaker in role-playing circles for a long time. Cyberpunk, anyone? Artelsorian Games. We've got Castle Falkenstein or Stein, however you want to pronounce it. I always call it Falkenstein. So it's Frankenstein. Anyway. So yeah, so once again, please listen to the words that were coming out of my mouth. Not what do you think may have been coming out of my mouth. Because I swear I will hear it from somebody and they'll be like, oh, Jeff was being racist. Like, what? Where do you get that? Anyway. All right. Anything else cooking in chat? Everything's gotten kind of quiet. Everybody's like, oh, let's just wait and see if Jeff puts his foot in his mouth to say something. No, I won't. So, did I just say the Hindenburg was shot down by space lasers? No, I did not. I said the Hindenburg was shot down by Jewish space lasers. Got to make that distinction. Yeah. Jeez. Uh-huh. Hey, we're not getting into politics tonight. I try to stay away from politics all the time. All right, so that is it for this time out. Once again, let me remind you, I've got some. Let's talk contests. Although I had moved some stuff around, so Great A's like, see, now you did it. Yes, those Zionist space lasers. I'm surprised that word didn't come out. Not Jewish, Zionist. That's another one that is like, if I hear somebody use the word Zionist, I'm like, oh, I'm shutting down right now. I'm not. It's like, oh no. Anyway, I have moved some of the stuff, so I do not have it right here in front of me. But start off with the first contest. Super simple. I got 5 contests going on. Actually saw some traction on the Twitter D&D Candlekeep Mysteries contest today. Somebody had like retweeted and tagged a bunch of people. Kabuki Kid says, yeah, that keyword's dog whistle. So Gary Clarkson popped in. Good to see you, Gary, as I am wrapping up. Gary was running his first session of basic fantasy role playing. So he had been mentioning that on Twitter, also in some comments on the YouTube videos here. Anyway, so easiest contest of the bunch is the first one. You can win this copy of Nidavellir from Iello Games and Hachette Games. Comes to stores in April, but you can get it before then. That's right, because through the end of the month, all you got to do is watch my review video for Nidavellir, and I will tell you how to get in the running. It's easy. Next up, I also have the core book for Warhammer 40K Wrath and Glory, and I will be giving that away if I can hit 4,000 subscribers. I shouldn't say subscribers, followers on Twitter. Is it 4,000 or 4,500? No, I know what it is. It's 7,000. Man, I am just so many contests. I can't remember what I'm doing for what. It is 7,000 followers. I'm giving away 3 copies of the core rules for Wrath and Glory in PDF. 1 copy in the hardcover, which I guess is just arriving in stores. Kind of cool. Also, do want to mention that I have a contest going on here on YouTube. So the YouTube contest, pretty easy. All you got to do is be a subscriber and comment on any video before the end of the month. Once again, if it's a rude comment, you're probably not going to win. But if I hit 4.5K, that's it, 4,500 subscribers here on YouTube, I am giving away the whole kit and caboodle of what's available in print for basic fantasy role-playing. All 13 books. That's right. All 13. Pretty nice. Then I do have my 2 Dungeons and Dragons contests. Gotta be honest, I figure I won't actually see Candlekeep Mysteries until, see, I think it's supposed to hit the 16th of March. So I'm taking a guess. I won't see it before like the 6th. Although remember, I got a feeling that it's going to come late to reviewers. It'll still be in stores on the 16th. But I'm kind of getting a feeling that it's going to be one of those releases that the reviewers get a couple of days before it goes on sale. Anyway, speaking of Dungeons and Dragons, Candlekeep Mysteries. Oh, yeah. So if I can hit 7.5K followers on Twitter before the end of the month, I will give away the standard art cover edition of Candlekeep Mysteries to a lucky winner. And if I can hit 5,000 subscribers to the YouTube channel before the end of the month, I will choose a winner from the commenters and subscribers on YouTube to receive the alternate art edition of the book as well. So those are the contests that are cooking for this month. I'll have some other stuff popping up in March as well. Another last thing I should point out is I'm hoping, starting in March, every Tuesday to share an interview. If there's anybody in particular you'd like me to talk to, by all means, please let me know in the comment section. See who I can reach out to possibly do interviews. I don't know. I'm going to call it like Talking Tuesdays or something. Yeah, something like that. But I do want to get more interviews out there. Although I got to admit, my interview with Dennis Detwiller, I could tell I was like out of shape as far as doing my interviews. Just was off a little bit. I mean, it was fine, but still, I didn't feel like I had my A game. I'm telling you, this pandemic, not having a lot of contact with people. Anyway, so keep in mind, I'm going to be looking to do that as well. Also, do want to mention, if you like this video, give it a quick thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you do subscribe, ding that bell. It will not only let you know when the Dispatch airs live most Monday through Thursdays here on YouTube. I'll also let you know when I upload other videos, such as tomorrow's unboxing and first look at Cowboys 2, the Cowboys and Indians edition from Worthington Publishing. This is a deluxe edition here. That's right. So I will have my unboxing video tomorrow. And of course, when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com for all latest in gaming news, reviews, and a whole lot more. You know the drill. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. Everybody enjoy the rest of your Tuesday night or Wednesday morning or whatever day it happens to be when you're watching. Those of you who were hanging out live, Rob German just strolled on in as we bring the show to an end. Hi, Rob. Bye, Rob. Anyway, those of you who are watching live, thank you very much. Always appreciate you taking time out of your busy day to kick back, hang out and chat while I do the show so I don't feel like a complete doofus just babbling on into the ether. But I do know other people out there don't have an opportunity to watch live. I really, really do appreciate you watching as well. Hell, I appreciate anybody who takes some time out to watch this dingbat go at it. Anyway, thank you very much. Always appreciate it. And of course, as I wrap up all my videos during this never-ending pandemic, I certainly hope all of you out there are being smart and staying safe. Oh, hey, you're still here. Well, if that's the case, by all means, if you haven't subscribed to the Gaming Gang channel yet, click right here. If you'd like to see the latest episode of the Gaming Gang Dispatch, click right up there. And if you want to trust YouTube's algorithm to give you something to watch, click right there. Once again, thanks so much for watching. And everybody, please wear a mask.